Hello and welcome back, viewers of YouTube. I am David with digitalbyte.com, and today I'm going to be showing you how to install Glype, which is a web-based proxy application, and I'm going to be showing you how to install this on a Windows 7 machine. So here we are at the Glype homepage, and this is the first step we need to get our Glype installed. What you have to do is go to glype.com or just Google it. And on the side here, you have the download link, and you want to click on download version, the newest one. We want to save that. Yes. Let that download. Yeah, I'm in Australia, so the internet's quite slow here. Download that. Drag that to the desktop so we can play around with that. And we minimize this. Here's all the here are all the files you need to get your Glype up and running. But to get this up and running on our Windows machine, we're going to be installing Internet Information Services, IIS for short. It's Windows version of their web server. So you may have similar products like Apache on Linux and stuff like that, which serves web pages. We're going to be installing the Windows version of IIS. It comes on every It actually comes pre-installed on your machine, but it's just disabled. First, what we want to do is go to Control Panel. We want to click on Programs, Programs and Features, and turn on Windows features on or off. And we want to tick Internet Information Services. I've already ticked it and installed. We want to click on OK there, and that shall install and bring you back to the screen here. Once installed, our next step is to position our Glype files that we downloaded in the correct position, so then our web server can access them. Start by going to My Computer, C drive, in your C drive, and I'm going to just call it Websites. And in here, we're just going to call this Glype. And inside Glype, we're going to drag and drop all of our files. Minimize that. Now we have to configure our IIS web server. First we have to click on the Start menu, type in IIS to find it, left click to open it up. Okay. Here we are in the Internet Information Services, or IIS for short. This is the manager. We are looking at the home page for our computer here, our Windows 7 machine. So what we want to do is collapse this option here. Right click on Sites and left click Add Websites. We want to give it a name, so we're just going to call it Glype. Physical path, we're going to find C drive, website, and Glype. Okay, and here we want to assign the IP address of the of your server. So we want to click on our IP address that our router has assigned our server, or sorry, we want to click on the IP address that the router has assigned the machine that you're setting up the server on. In this case, it's 0.1.14. Keep it in HTTP. Leave it on port 80. And hostname, we're going to leave that alone because we're going to be accessing our website using just our real IP address. Click OK. Now let's test our website. Here we are given a error message. Pretty much it's telling us that it cannot find pretty much like a home page. The thing is, it's the Glype application is written in PHP. So now what we need to do is install the PHP module for our web server. To do so, we want to go to Firefox. Open up a new tab, and we want to type in Microsoft platform installer. Click on the first link to the web page, and we want to click on free download. Save. Launch the application, and this application will allow us to download pretty much add-ons to our web server. As described here, it's a tool for getting the latest components for pretty much all the Microsoft's web platform tools. So it's used for IIS, the SQL Server Express, the .NET framework, and all the other softwares. And that's all done through their Microsoft Web Platform Manager. So allow that to install. So now with the Web Platform Installer installed, we want to go to our home page for our Internet Information Services Manager, and on the management page here, it's got the Microsoft Web Platform Installer. Double click on that, and here in the search field we want to type in PHP, and now we want to scroll down until we can find PHP 5.4.14. Easy way to remember, it's the one without any of the additional extensions. So the one without all this additional text here. So that's the one we want to add, install. So here it's going to download some prerequisites, so the manager and all these other stuff. I accept and let that download and install for you. With that installed, it's going to give you this finish screen. Click on finish here. Go back to Glype and browse the website. If you're presented with this message, it seems like we have to enable CGI for our PHP to work correctly. So what we want to do is go back to Control Panel, Programs, turn Windows features on or off. We're going to enable CGI, so go to Worldwide Web Services, open that up. We want to go to Application Development Features, and we want to tick CGI. Click OK. It should install that component now. Once installed, the box will disappear and you'll be left back to the control panel. You can exit that window, refresh the page, and now all should be running. Yep. So once we get to this page here, Glype has automatically redirected us to the admin.php page because it's realized that we haven't configured the server yet, so we have to give our administrator a username and a password. Also, it's also managed to. It's telling us that it's got permission. It's got writable permission to the folders. If this actually comes up with an error box here, if this is red, sometimes I've noticed this actually comes up saying it doesn't have permission to access the folder. What you want to do is go back to Computer, C Drive, and go to Websites. Right-click on your website folder where you saved Glype inside there, Security, and see I've added a user called IUSR. And what we want, if you don't have that user there and it's giving you that error message, you want to click on Edit, Add, type in IUSR, OK. And it's going to add this to the user, and I've ticked Modify. You want to allow it to modify the files inside. Click Apply, click OK, and on refresh it should allow you to, it should come up with the same green box here saying it's found the settings and it's writable. So our username, we're just going to call this admin, and password we're also going to call it admin. You should definitely pick something much more stronger than that, as people may be able to find your file and log in. So we want to submit that, and it says, yep, all is good, successful. This is the home page. The environment is all okay. So it's found the PHP and C URL. That component is installed with PHP. It's found that it's the latest version of Glype. And what we want to do now is go to Edit Settings. You can purchase a Glype license to remove sort of their name on the index page. I'll show you that in a second. Here you can change the theme. We're going to leave it on default because I think the default one looks alright. This is the temporary file where it saves like logs and other things like that. Leave all this on default. You can enable gzip. If you're running this server on a much more powerful machine, you can click on yes to sort of send back and forth smaller file sizes. Here you can include a message with in the footer. So you can maybe say, yep, so you can edit this to leave a message. If you want to leave a message constantly, maybe every now and then you want to say something new to your audience, you can leave it here and that will update on the page. Here, we're going to leave this on no because we changing that may cause a bit of issues when you start playing around with files and stuff like that. So we're just going to leave that on no for the time being. Prevent hot linking, I suggest yes, because people go crazy sort of passing the link around and the server will be flogged. Or you can allow hot linking from certain domains. Logs, yes, we want to log everything, and we want to log all requests, and that's going to be saved in your temp logs folder. Here you got your website's access control, so all the whitelists and blacklists. This is for websites which these are for the websites and not users. So here you can add if here in the whitelist you can add a domain such as Google or YouTube and stuff like that, and that's on the whitelist. So you can access just those ones, and everything else will be blocked. Or on the blacklist, you can add websites on here, and it will allow the user to access everything except these websites. So you can do it either way. Control panel, you can ban IPs. If there's a IP in your log list which is eating up all your bandwidth or something like that, you can add them to the block list. Here are your transfer options, so you can leave a cap and file size and timeouts. So we can leave it on 5 for now. Transfer timeout, leave it on 0. File size limit, so if you got a limited connection, you might want to definitely add that on there, so people don't go and downloading big files and transfers through your proxy. So remember, through a proxy, you have the server downloads the file from the destinations. From the requested server from the user when the user clicks on the link, and then it has to re-upload to the user's destination. So pretty much you're going to be using bandwidth twice through this machine. So you make sure you do set up the transfer options correctly. Cookies, we want to say, you can say yes or no. We're going to say no in this case because every time the user reopens up the page, it's going to pretend like it's the website has never dealt with you, so we want to leave that a note. Encode them, leave that there. Maintenance, or I want to keep all my logs. Encrypt, and this is the default sort of options that I ticked on the page. And yeah, the users can sort of play around with these on the index page, or you can enforce such options so they can't play around with these. Once you've changed them around, you have to save them. And that is the admin page all configured. Here you can view logs through the control panel, so you can update them and sort of view them, and it'll show up down here. So what we can do now is take our IP address, copy, open a new tab, right click, paste, go, and here we are. This is our Glype web proxy that is run through our web server that we've set up. So here we can maybe go to google.com, go, and here we are. This is Google. Google has noticed that the IP address is from Australia, so it's given us the Australian version of Google. And if we go back to the admin page and we refresh the logs, it's telling us someone has accessed Google, and it's come up on Sunday. And also we can go back here, websites, we can go to Glype, the temp folder, logs, and here is a log folder. It says this user, because I'm accessing the file locally, it's giving me the local IP address, it's giving me the date and time, and the URL which has been accessed. So that there is kept on the machine, in your websites folder. And that, my dear friends, is Glype. Also, if we were to go to the home page, see how it's all in, it's a sort of like a default temporary sort of text here. All of this can be changed. To change such text, what we want to do is go to Glype, go to Themes, Default, and then you can edit them. If you go to Open, select, in this case we're just going to use Notepad, and here you can play around with different colors, change that around, and you should also be allowed to remove that text. That text is in the config. Here we are. So you can replace this text here. See how it's all, I believe, I'm not sure if that's Spanish. Could be Spanish. Oh, I wouldn't know, sorry. Yeah, that there that there can be replaced. So let's delete that. So I'm going to do Control delete, get rid of all that text. But I want to put back my ending tag for my HTML and say this, what is this? What would that be called? This is the body text. You can say something like that. You can add the spaces for the add, like for example, in add locations. So all of that can be added here. This is all your this is where you can configure everything. And the website name. So what it does on the page, see how it says the IP address Glype proxy. What you want to do is get rid of the word proxy, because sometimes filters will search for those terms, and you'll notice that your web page will be blocked if you try accessing this on your own web page through a proxy at a workplace or a school or something like that, or a library. So you want to try and remove all words which relate to proxies and anonymous browsing and stuff like that. So in your about page, try to not use such terms which will give your website away in the filters. So saving that page, go back to the proxy, refresh, see it's disappeared, and it's also disappeared from the title, so that won't interfere anymore. This is a body text, and it's leave the stamp, and users can go through options. They can choose which browser they want to pretend to be. Save that. Yep, go back to the home. You can manage your cookies. So Google has set cookies that are stored on the server temporarily. So once you close down the session, all of these will disappear. So now we've set it up to work so that our server is working internally on our own machine, on the same machine. Now what we want to do is set it up so we can access it externally. To do that, we want to close all of this, start the start menu, and we want to type in firewall, and we want to go advanced security. Left click on that. We want to go to inbound, and we're going to allow port. Next, TCP, we're going to type in port 80. So that's going to be for our website. Next, allow the rule. Next, I'm going to call this web server. Do the same thing for the outbound as well. Port 80. Next, allow. Next, web server. So that's added all the way on the top then. So that should allow access for our server to communicate externally from the server. And now what you want to do is log into your router, and you want to add it. You want to add your IP address to the forward page of your router. We're going to do that right now. So we're going to click on next, and we are going to type in our router's IP. Whoop, that's not what we want. We want to go to my local router. So that's 1.9.1.254. Next, username. And we want to type in our password. So once in, it's going to give us a device information, which is going to be covered up. And for our billion router, we want to go to Advanced Setup, and we want to go to NAT, and we want to click on Virtual Servers. Here on the virtual servers, we want to click on Add, and in my case it's PPPO for my internet, and we're going to click on HTTP, or we're going to see if we can find web server. If you can't find it, here we are, web server. And for the IP address, we're going to click on 192.168.1.9, I think it was. And it's going to give us a start and an end. And what we want to do now is apply. Yes. And once that's applied, that will forward all the traffic from your external IP to your internal machine, which is hosting your website. So now you'll be able to use your external IP anywhere on your mobile phone, on external machines, anywhere to access your website. Thank you for sticking through the video. Make sure to subscribe to keep in touch with all the latest videos with servers and web development. Also make sure to check out the Digital Byte website for all the support material, and I'll also list all the steps in text. So if you want to follow along with the text, that's going to be on the website. Link provided in the department down below in the description. Make sure you check out our Google Plus page. That's where we're going to be posting all of our up-to-date information, and hope to see you in the next video. Bye.